One of the big movers for Fiat Chrysler the last few years has been the RAM brand. And with the introduction of a new light-duty pickup, those numbers are expected to grow. This week on Autoline, a look at the brand and how trucks impact sales.
And now, here's your host, John McElroy.
Welcome to Autoline this week, where we're on the floor of the 2018 North American International Auto Show. The reason we're here is today's show is going to be all about one of the most important reveals that took place, the all-new Ram pickup. And joining us for today's show are Jim Morrison, Vice President and Head of the Ram brand. Also, Ryan Nagodi, Chief Designer, Interior for the Ram brand. And my colleague, Gary Vasilash, the Editor-in-Chief of Automotive Design and Production. And Jim, this has got to be an incredibly important launch for you guys. You finished up 2017 very strong, but it sounds to me with you, and we'll get into the details, changing the manufacturing footprint, you're going to have more trucks to sell in 2018.
You know, looking forward to bringing new customers on to the Ram brand, and for sure we had a good solid year growing sales and share for the Ram brand in 2017, and with all the excitement with trucks here in America, looking forward to a big year in 2018, and great to have the all-new Ram 1500 to support that growth.
Ryan, one of the buzz on the floor has been how good the interior is on that truck. I grew up in an era a truck was just for work. You have turned this into something really special. What is it that you really set out to try to achieve with the new one?
We've really been honing our craft, honestly, since 2009, when the Ram brand, became official. Just really trying to bring luxury, authenticity, truth in materials. But now we have technology. We have a lot more technology baked into the pickup truck, and honestly, we set out to just really design the best interior out there. Not only the best Ram truck interior, but just the best interior that really money could buy.
The big surprising thing has to be the integration of the touchscreen that you guys have in this vehicle. Which is unlike anything this side of a Tesla. And it might even be a better implementation than what you did. And what I really like is the fact that you have the switches that you're using, because it would seem to me that truck guys probably are doing things, wearing gloves and stuff like that, and you guys really nailed it on that.
It's a big point of what we tend to do at FCA. We love having redundant controls, but truck on top of it, you talk glove hands, it's a big part of the business. We listen to the customers, we get their feedback, we do clinics and just understand what they're looking for in a vehicle, and the integration of the new 12-inch Uconnect system does fit nicely. It looks at home within the new interior.
Jim, Ram, and I'm going back maybe 30 years ago, invented the big massive grille with the crosshairs, massive gigantic front end, and yet on the standard truck right now looks a whole lot more sleeker, a whole lot more sophisticated maybe is the word. I'm just intrigued that you've taken a change in how you're styling the front end of the truck.
Well, we're proud to hold on to our big rig styling, and you can see some of that still in the fender and the hood, the big hood, and then we've given it lots of personalities, all the way from our tradesman right through to our Rebel, our off-road, rugged truck with a lift, and then we've complemented them all with the new RAM Grille. So we've walked away from the crosshairs and really signaled the new truck has arrived with the RAM across the range in the grills, but given a lot of different personalities throughout the range.
You've obviously done a tremendous amount of market research on where you think the truck market's going. Why that change? What do you see that's going on in the marketplace, or is it just to distinguish yourself from the other pickups out there?
Well, one is certainly to distinguish ourselves from the other pickup trucks that are out there. Second is we want to make sure everybody knows this is the new truck. This is the technological wonder that we brought to the marketplace with this new Ram 1500, because we're going to change the people that want to drive pickup trucks every day, because this is a no compromise truck. It's not only a leader in power and efficiency, but technology that Ryan talked about, and then the luxury. It's going to attract new customers to the segment and continue to help us grow sales with the Ram brand, but really does help signal that change with the new RAM signature grille in the new trucks.
So to sort of John's point, so it was the 94 Ram that you guys came out with the entirely different look, because you were throwing down saying we're a challenger brand and we're going to establish ourselves in this market. Do you guys still feel as though you're the challenger brand compared to the other two guys in Detroit?
Well, you know, it's a great competitive marketplace out there, and as you know, we beat Chevrolet 3 times last year, and we'll be continuing to look to push by them this year, and we've got a truck that is up to the task for sure, and it's all about growing customers. We're very proud of the fact that the Ram brand has the highest loyalty in the 1500 segment, and it's great to have new customers come to the brand and then enjoy the experience with what the Ram brand represents and what the truck provides for them, the experiences they're getting with their dealers, and sticking with the family. So it's nice to have our customers come to the brand and stay with us.
We talk a lot, I think, about the vehicles, the truck owners. They're kind of in tribes, in terms of the competitive set, and it takes a lot to pull someone away from their tribe, but I think this truck, as Jim mentioned, no compromises. I mean, we've packed so much into it. We can honestly talk hours about each and every little part of it, and hopefully we do so, and we talk in depth to make sure that every customer out there feels like there's a pickup truck, there's a Ram pickup truck for them, and that's the best part about it. I love that we've been able to just ground up, turn over every little leaf, every little stone, and just build an awesome truck.
Mm-hmm. Ryan, Gary brought up the fact of the gigantic screen there. If you walk around the auto show here, that's definitely one of the big styling trends on the interior. Everybody's putting a big screen in their vehicle, but do truck buyers really want that?
I think they want functionality, they want easy to use, they want function that works for them, and I think the best part about that screen is the fact that you can change it around and you can tailor it to how you see fit. Trucks are so accessorized and so customized, right? So I think that's a point that even within the screen, you could do all that. And for us, we wanted to go to more of an integrated approach to it. I think you walk the show floor, you see a lot of screens that are actually, more floating, right? And that wasn't appropriate for
you
a truck.
You say floating, I'll say just sort of stuck on there.
Yeah. And that's what was great. From the get-go, we said we're gonna get the screen in there, and we're gonna actually move. We've moved dimensions of the interior to get that screen to fit in there really nice, which is nice. And even the rest of the lineup has been improved in terms of our technology. Some of our new 8.4-inch screens, they're flush, pinch to zoom, better colors and vibrancy. But yeah, I think the truck owners, they're gonna love it. Even the diehards, they're gonna love it.
Let me give you an example of how we've already connected with some customers. As you know, we love the Ram brand loves connecting with and providing trucks for farmers. We've got a long heritage with that, and we had a harvest edition earlier this year. Our farmers are some of the highest tech people. They drive $150,000 case tractors, that drive themselves through farms and do all of the cultivating for them, and we know they love technology. So one of the things we asked them about was our screen. One of the nice things that it can do, you can split the screen amongst 2 different configurations. So you can run Apple CarPlay down on the bottom, and you can be doing all your voice and texting on the bottom. You can have your map that shows the weather that's incoming on the top, and you can be driving around from different field to field, and you can see the weather. You can be talking to your crew, and it's all that technology that's there at your fingertips that makes it perfect integration for a truck.
So I've got to believe, mentioning farmers and other contractors that do work, that they probably think, oh yeah, the screen is very nice, but you know what? I need a durable truck. Now, we've got the frame behind us here. You guys put a lot of work into that.
Well, the durability is a cornerstone for the Ram brand. As you know, we talked about loyalty, and truck customers want something that doesn't break. So start with the strongest frame that we've ever done. Great job here, 98% high strength steel. You can see the different levels of high strength steel. For those that don't know, there's many different levels of that, but we've done it with a lot of cool technology in order to make sure that the truck is strong. We've also put high strength steel in the bed where it's really important, and to surround the customer in the cab where it's important to keep them safe as well. We did use some aluminum in the hood and on the tailgate, where we wanted to keep it light, but we made sure we had high strength steel for where the customers were really going to need long-term durability.
So when people come into a dealership, into a showroom, and are looking at this, I mean, so what are the determining factors of whether they will buy a particular truck?
I think what we work with our dealers and train them to do is to really just talk to the customers, understand what their duty cycles are, understand what their real needs are. This truck will tow up to 12,750 pounds, put 2,300 pounds in the bed, but not everybody needs that level of capability. So they'll spec out the trucks that they need to, and we have a full range from a tradesman all the way up through a limited with the 12-inch screen standard, air suspension that's available across the range, and the different box sizes and configuration, RAM box. Do they need it? We'll have those conversations with the customers to make sure they get as much truck as they need and not more than they want to pay for. So it's really about training our dealers on the range that we have to make sure our customers get exactly what they need in a pickup truck.
I hear air suspension, 12-inch screen. This is kind of unexpected in a pickup truck. Another thing that's unexpected is you're going to have these things as mild hybrids.
Yes.
Is that across the board, or how are you going to market with that?
Yes, no, it's going to be available across the range. The V6 is standard with the e-torque technology. The Hemi V8 is going to be available either way. So you can get,
for the audience, explain a little bit how that all works.
So the mild hybrid technology, we're calling it e-torque, basically takes a 48 volt battery pack and applies electric torque to the engine. So the regular Hemi has 395 horsepower, 410 torque, and it now adds another 130 pound-feet of torque.
Which is a lot.
It is, and you can feel it in the truck. When you put your foot on the gas, it really, you can feel it in the seat, you can feel the truck pulling.
And yet at the same time, it's going to improve fuel economy.
Yes, we're going to get a double-digit improvement in fuel economy with that technology. So, we talk to our customers, and what do they want? They always want, pickup truck buyers always want more power. So we have to give them that first, but delivering that with great fuel economy gains is really nice too. So, double-digit fuel economy, that's really good stuff.
And so you said it's going to be standard on the V6,
yes,
and available on the V8 Hemi.
Correct.
And can you talk pricing or anything? What kind of an upcharge?
Yeah,
too early
yet,
in the program?
Yeah, we're going to announce our pricing in March. But it's going to be right there so that the customer that is either doing the math on fuel economy or willing to pay for a little more performance, they'll be well in the wheelhouse of what they think they're going to want to pay for.
So you're calling it e-torque. Are
Yes.
you going to use the word hybrid at all, or you want to shun that word for truck buyers?
Well, the truck buyers do have a little bit of a different view of what hybrids are, and it really does blend back into they want power first, right? So the end of the day, we're very proud of the fact that it is mild hybrid technology, but it's going to be labeled as e-torque for sure.
Gotcha.
With all of the different flavors, as it were, of it.
Yeah.
So talk about how you did the walk with the interiors in terms of materials and implementation and things like that.
I think the truck market is so vast. You're going from an entry level, maybe commonly referred to as a work truck, all the way up to that expensive luxury truck that maybe it's an expensive SUV with a bed on the back. We really wanted to find a way to connect with the customers in such, and even with my team, and making sure that everyone working on the product knew what each of those interiors felt. So we actually went out and selected 6 hammers that actually represented each of the 6 individual price classes. So we got a big sledgehammer for our tradesmen. We have a nice, adorned, still a decent size, blacked out, sort of hammer with some brushed finishes to it. And what's really cool about that is that then allowed our color and materials team to start developing some of the flavors that you see in the truck. And it might go unnoticed for now, but I hope that when someone goes in there, has purchased their vehicle, that they're going to see these details. And that's really what I love to bring to my team and working with the team, to go through and say, let's get into the details. That's really where someone's making a large purchase here. What does a watch detail look like, and how can we put that throughout the rest of the interior. So hopefully you'll see that when you get the breadth of the entire lineup that Ram's going to have to offer.
You know, it's great to offer customers so much variety and choice. The manufacturing people hate that. They want to keep everything very simple, run them down the line, because that helps quality and cost. When you went to them with this whole palette of things, so they go, Ryan, you're killing me, brother.
It's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears with everyone, but I love our team because they're all truck guys and gals, and they get it. You know, they understand why, you know, we have variances, but it's us being smart. Maybe the customer will feel the differences here and there, but for us, it's mixing and matching of some of those parts and pieces. Just, you got to be very upfront with it. You know, you can't be late. So we've been working on this interior for almost close to 4.5 years, developing some of like our center console in terms of our function and storage early on, so that there was no surprises for the team. So we could bake some of that in. With our new plant, that's a big thing. The new Sterling Heights assembly plant.
Yeah, and I want to get into that in a minute,
Yeah.
but continuing along these lines, how do you determine what's right for the different interiors? Where do you reach the point where you go, nah, we're just making things a little too complex, we're not going to get the payback? How do you balance that?
I mean, I think we've done a great job of launching these trucks, and then every year coming out with a little bit of a test model, you know, in a sense, like a lifestyle or a buzz model, to kind of gauge people's reactions on what's biting, you know, what are people kind of finding attractive and what they're willing to pay for in a pickup truck. So we use that, I think, a lot, and it helps that when we come out with something fresh like this, that we're pretty determined to say, yep, we have concrete, you know, evidence that says, yep, someone's going to pay for that, and it's worth putting it in.
Before the show was started, Gary here had put some numbers together, sales numbers, and was showing me that you guys came very close to the Chevy Silverado in sales and market share. And now, as Ryan just noted, Jim, you've got an additional plant's worth of capacity for this truck. What are you going to do with that?
You know, I would say that my job is to bring as many, you know, customers into the Ram brand as possible. And, you know, it's great having the new plant online here in Detroit, and you know, we'll be able to, you know, offer this new Ram 1500, you know, as early as this first quarter, and at the same time, you know, we'll have the current vehicle on sale, you know, probably throughout the end of the year, and you know, we've got a great opportunity to bring a lot more customers online for the Ram brand.
Well, as you know, a typical assembly plant can build, I'm going to say, 240,000 vehicles a year. Do you have that much upside potential on this truck?
You know, I think with the technology that's now available to the customer, I think everybody needs a truck. You know, some people just need a truck every week, some people need it every day, some people need it every year, but at some point in time, I would submit to you that everybody in America needs a truck. And now we've been able to tap into the fact that there's no compromise. You can get great fuel economy, great monthly payments, and great ride and handling, and you can live with this thing every day. It can be your daily driver, or it can be your daily workhorse, and everything in between. And I think when America sees that, we're going to continue to grow the segment with more Ram trucks on the road.
So you think there's going to be momentum will continue with the light duty truck
Yes,
market?
For sure. I think, you know, we're seeing new people even coming out of mid-sized cars. And you think about a mid-sized car customer, you know, 5 years ago, they've been locked into a payment for a while. They probably have the same payment for their fuel charges today, you know, at $2.20 or $2.30 a gallon, and with the fuel economy on the trucks improving, you know, 20 or 30% since they bought their mid-size car. Now they can go and put the truck in the driveway that they've always wanted. Mm-hmm. They don't have to borrow their brother-in-law's or their neighbor down the street when they're doing their yard work. They don't have to borrow, you know, somebody else's truck. They can have their own truck. And the ride dynamic and the overall feel of confidence, you know, that the new Ram 1500 provides, it does drive like a car. So, but yet you've got, you know, great, you know, 2,300 pounds of payload or you know, 12,000 pounds of trailer. That's a lot. So you can have your cake and eat it too. And I truly believe there's going to be a lot of new customers that say, yeah, I finally get rid of my mid-size sedan, and wow, I can put a Ram in my driveway. So we're looking forward to that this year.
Ironically enough, the plant you'll be building them in used to be a mid-size car plant.
Speaking of mid-size, there's a lot of activity in the mid-size pickup segment. Over the last 5 years, it's doubled in size. here at the show, Ford is introducing a mid-size truck. Jeep is going to be getting into the mid-size segment. Hyundai's going to jump into that. Is there any danger that mid-size starts to cannibalize the full-size segment?
Well, I think it's just going to continue to grow the trucks. I think we're going to see a trend, with people stepping out of cars and going into different levels of trucks. And I think what's clear is that, the use from mid-size to a full-size is still pretty clear. As manufacturers, we can make vehicles cheaper and service that that mid-size segment. But that's really not the right way to do it, because those customers do indeed want something smaller. So I think overall the truck segments are going to continue to grow.
Ryan, what's your view of where the truck segment can go from a design standpoint? And I ask it from this standpoint. Back in the day, they were only two-door trucks, at least in the United States.
Yep.
And when the first idea started to percolate about a four-door truck, a lot of skeptics, even amongst truck builders, going, no one's going to buy a four-door pickup. Now, four-door is nothing, and we've got, extended cabs and all these other kind of door configurations. Where is this all going to go?
I don't see that stopping. We still produce, and for this truck, we'll have our quad cab. So that's a little bit more of a traditional size, but the crew cab, we stretched the truck 4 inches in terms of the cabin, and we basically gave that all to the customer. It might keep growing. I think the luxury elements, the appointments, as Jim was mentioning, that just speaks to having the ability to take your family. This truck might have taken over between a truck and an SUV that you had at some point in time. This might be the combination of one vehicle in your family, and I think that's what you see more and more. So I don't see it stopping. I think we still produce trucks that are standard cabs, reg cabs that service that side of it. But the crew cab, the larger cabs, that's easily where the market's going to keep heading, and trying to find more stuff to put in it, more flexibility, more function to utilize, but kind of that clean interior storage versus the exterior dirty storage.
Way back in the day, when it was still Dodge, before it had been separated as Ram, there was even a convertible version that the company had toyed with. Can it go that far?
Well, I think that's, Jeep has that potential, right?
Sure.
Jeep has that potential with that, sort of that brand mentality. But I don't know, that starts to get into some squirrely territory. I don't know, from a design side.
Isn't that a danger, Jim? That, you try to do everything and you go over the cliff. You go a bridge too far, so to speak.
Yeah, we want to make sure we keep it sensible. And I think, the new 1500 that we're showing here today is going to, bring new conversations, because we've taken it to the next level with technology. We've taken it to the next level with, customer convenience and luxury. That the second row cab you can't find a bigger one in the marketplace. So we're going to start new conversations, and we'll see where they take us. But I think the nice thing about it is, again, with this new Ram, there's no compromise.
So what about the guy who is saying, I want a truck, but I need the utility?
Yes.
And so how are you addressing that in terms of the box, let's say? You guys, I remember when you had the RAM box that you revolutionized storage in the
Yes.
back. Are you still paying attention to things like that?
Yes, and some of those facts are, we've got a 10% improvement in our overall capacity of our box, 54 cubic feet. But we've maintained our class exclusive RAM box. We put our RAM box accessible from the outside versus the inside. Not sure why competitors have gone to the inside, because you got to lean over and then you can't use your box then when you have anyway. But it's a nice recognition that there's a use there for it. But that combined with the interior storage that Ryan was talking about, that's 2 times that of the competition. We think that we've got a really good handle on overall cargo management, which is very important. It's a pickup truck. That's why people are buying it, and it's nice to see we're continuing to improve that for the new Ram. One of the other things that we really like about our trucks is we have air suspension, so we always have the load level. You can even drop it right down to the jounce bumpers, down 4 inches, and make it really easy to load. So we've tried to look after a lot of the different components of cargo management, but you're right, it's a pickup truck, and that's why people are overall buying this. So for the overall functionality, and I think we've improved a lot of aspects of that here for 2019.
Ryan here at the Detroit Auto Show. You've got a big introduction with the Ram. Chevrolet's got an all-new Silverado. Ford's bringing back the Ranger. Have you had a chance to go benchmark the competition?
That's the best part about the show, just being here, being able to walk, early in the morning and get into everything we possibly can. My team, I tell them this is the best time in the year to be able to have all these vehicles here, and so we do a lot. We do a lot of benchmarking, and especially the trucks. It's a who has what type of competition. Obviously, there's not many truck manufacturers out there, so it's very important for us to kind of scope out the competition, and even other vehicles that, for me, in the interior side, I mean, there's stuff you can garner from any part of the show, as well as industrial design shows and other avenues of design that could relate to the interior design and development.
Jim, same question for you. Did you get a chance to go look at the competition, and was your reaction, dang, there's something we should have done, or was it, we got this covered?
Well, it's a very competitive market, and we were watching live, when the other competition was showing some stuff, and we're wondering why they didn't go farther, honestly, in a lot of ways, and happy that they didn't. So, really to have the leadership now with technology and luxury, with a package that clearly delivers on capability and pushes the needle on power and efficiency, it's a great place to be. So we'll continue to push the envelope on sales now with RAM.
Well, it's amazing. I mean, how strong the pickup segment is. It's really impressive to see at this show 3 very strong entries. Mm-hmm. But thank you for taking the time to share all your knowledge about this new Ram pickup. And I know we only scratched the surface, but nonetheless, that's what we could squeeze into the time that we've got.
Thank you very much.
I want to thank all of you. And Gary, great having you on board for this too. And of course, want to thank all of you for having tuned in.